My brother and I grew up in the Chesapeake Bay watershed, and we've always wondered exactly what it was that makes this place so special. After creating a short film about the connectivity of this watershed, Fly Fishers International reached out and challenged us to take the journey further. Over 1,000 miles, 7 days, and one watershed. This is the Chesapeake Tales.
My name is Dustin Wichterman. I'm the Associate Director for Trout Unlimited's Mid-Atlantic Cold Water Habitat Program, and we're sitting out in my backyard here in Pendleton County, West Virginia on Seneca Creek. I wish that I could explain exactly what it was that drives me about brook trout. I think that it's deep in my blood to a point that it's not even controllable, and it probably relates to the health of the systems around me and being a father that wants to create a better world for my child. You can look back as many generations as we have history in my family, and we've all chased brook trout for some reason or another. And I don't know if it's just this intrinsic drive to forage and find things, or if it is that, kind of heritage generational circumstance. I think the more immediate look of what drives me for brook trout is the places that they live. You never know what's going to be around the next bend. And they live in some of the most beautiful places that our state has to offer, or the East has to offer for that matter. So the experiences that you garner as you're stumbling along a stream trying to find a small char that lives in a mountain spring, it's just majestic and special and indescribable for me what actually drives me to do it. And I spend hours and miles on my life seeking these fish. As we sit here in the Potomac headwaters, we're sitting amongst where TU's flagship restoration initiative was spawned. Largely what we're doing is we're working from the top of the watershed, which is primarily public land, downstream to the private lands, restoring every single issue that we see throughout. Here in the Panhandle, we see a strong interface between agricultural resources and brook trout resources. What we're doing is working with the farmers to install projects that benefit the fish, as well as improving the water quality, keeping it colder and cleaner longer as it's delivered down outside of West Virginia toward the Chesapeake Bay. Naming the biggest threat to this fishery is a pretty big challenge. I've thought long and hard about that throughout my career. If I were to choose one, it probably would be increasing ambient air temperatures and increasing extreme flood and drought events that are associated with climate change. Our restoration efforts focus on building resilient watersheds to where when we see those stochastic weather events come through, that severe drought and that severe flood, the watershed's a little more capable of handling those circumstances. Chasing big native brook trout is not only a vocation, it is my passion and my exact drive. Brook trout do come with this reputation of being these small fish, that have been relegated to these fragmented systems. That is a misconception, especially where we're sitting here in the Potomac headwaters in West Virginia. We have large brook trout here. I personally caught 4 fish over 15 that were verifiable fish. We electrofish 14+ inch fish every single year. I like to say that I have a dream, and that dream's about 20 inches long. One of these days, I want to see 20-inch brook trout moving throughout these systems fluently like they used to be. Since I've been here at TU, I hit 10 years last week, and I have personally watched streams go from dead to 3 or 4 different age classes of brook trout. They are here, they are returning. I will bring you the good news because I've personally seen it. And it is the most gratifying piece of the work that we do out here, is seeing the return of these fish in these systems. The Chesapeake Bay watershed means two different things to me. One, and it might be surprising to you as we're here in the headwaters, it's my livelihood. And two, it's connectedness with people throughout a landscape. And that is a very special thing. Seeing the efforts of the different folks up and down this watershed, all focused on improving a system together, is just one of the most inspirational things to be part of that you could ever imagine.
While we were sad to leave Dustin and colorful brook trout behind, we were excited that Day 3 allowed us to stay in wild and wonderful West Virginia to target some of freshwater's hardest fighting fish.